Record is in progress. First in the door, we've got Darren Clark, Mary Long, welcome back. Mike Williams, Rebecca Lambourne. Hope everybody is doing well. Welcome to Tuesday. It feels like a long week already, but Dave, Paul, good morning. How you doing? Or good
Hello,
afternoon.
hello,
Good.
Anthony.
Do we have a list
Matt.
of who's online?
Yeah,
Because
you're
all I
Yes,
can
if
the
see.
participants.
at the bottom of the screen should say participants.
Oh, got it now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Should pop
This
up in a
technology is a
separate.
bit hard.
Well, the problem is I end up sort of having so many different windows open for the chat window, the sort of the attendees windows, the sort of internal chat window, and everything else. So easy to get lost. But yeah. And Sammy Joe, good afternoon. Lovely to have you back again. I hope all is well with you. I'm just going to drag that out of there. There we go.
Mr. Collier has joined as well. You'll see that there. He's
Yeah.
and he's put.
Hello, Chris. How you doing?
For some reason, I managed to get the attendee list and out of the actual window, so I've got all manner of windows open now.
It's only going to get more confusing as the day goes
Yeah.
on. Gizzy, welcome back. Good to see you again. Thank you for your contributions yesterday. Corrine Forrester, how you doing? Hope you're well. Myri Power, Mike Williams, hope you're well.
Mike Williams. Hello, Mike.
Norma Lewis, welcome back. Hope all is well. Brian Bowes, hope you're doing good. Just seeing what's going on there. So yeah, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry, it's been a long day already. Welcome back to our second of the 1280s of Christmas. Delighted to welcome Dave Stevens and Paul Blenkhorn from Century App House. How are you doing, guys?
Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon as well. Hi, everybody.
It has literally, just gone 12:02. Where's the morning gone already?
Yep. Norma, just to let you know, the link for surveys will always be blocked. Happy to answer questions by another method. Oh, that's an interesting one. Okay.
Jerry is back from Michigan.
Good to see.
Well, he's back from Michigan. He's in Michigan. He's just back today.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think he's left Michigan.
Back from Michigan, but who knows?
No, very good, very good. So, Dave, Paul, I mean, you're both relatively north of England, aren't you?
Yeah.
So,
I'm Blackburn. I think Paul's in Stockport-ish area.
Yep.
You don't know, Dave? I
by the
thought
look
you
of
knew
it.
that.
After all these years, you still don't know where he is.
Is it classified as Stockport or is it classified as something different? I'm never quite sure where you are. But yeah, I'm near Blackburn. The sheep are outside, and it's quite sunny here. So I've baked it up with the Norwegian backdrop as well for the day, for the season. Had a bit busy start of a busy week for me because I play in a brass band of all things. I play trombone.
I actually don't know this.
Yeah, I had done this forever. And so we had our first Christmas gig last night down at a club, which went fine, and all the usual stuff. And I tell you what, I've played these tunes so many times, it's just unreal now. I'm sorry, I've got white hair, same colour as my backdrop. And yeah, but that's we've got a few on this week, and yeah, that should be fun for me anyway. So thanks to be here. Thanks for inviting me here. I'm glad to be here.
No, pleasure. Norma Lewis, her nephew is a trombonist, full-time occupation. So
yeah, brilliant. Yeah, all the best people play trombones in the brass band. That's they're the guys. They're the folks.
So is this a long-term sort of passion of yours, Dave?
Yeah, I've played since I was since I was young. I just sort of they used to bring brass bands and musicians into schools in the olden days when I was young, and like try and get people doing things. And they said, "Do you want to learn an instrument?" And I did, and then it just carries on from there. And it's been great, really. And it's the one thing It's kind of odd, isn't it? Because we get very busy. I'm sort of busy with it. We're busy with the sensory app house with all the software, lots of things to do. But that's one thing that occupies your brain. You can't play any. I can't play anything musically without engaging my brain fully on the dots and the notes in front of me. And it just after 2 hours, it's almost like you've had a reboot. It's nice in that way. I appreciate that.
Very zen. No, that sounds good. I wish actually I don't know whether this is a more or lesser known story, but myself and Matt used to share a house once upon a time, back at the start of our careers about 25 years ago. And our landlord was a chap named Charlie. And he was one of those infuriating people who can pick up practically any instrument and play it. And play by ear, everything and anything. I do remember one of his they used to play in the bandstand in the local park on a regular basis, and they did. If you remember it way back in the day, Moose T, I'm Horny, to brass band. He wrote the entire sort of piece, and I remember them sort of thoroughly enjoying that. But yes, good guy, I have to say. Paul, any similar sort of musical talents that we need to know about?
Keyboard, but that's mostly QWERTY, writing
Yeah.
code.
What about the climbing wall behind you that I can see?
Oh, that. Yeah, I built that for grandkids to play. Well, for my kids originally, and now grandkids to play on.
Nice. You don't ever have a go yourself?
What Paul's not telling everybody is he's actually 5 stories up, and that's the top of it.
Well, there's also that one in the garden.
Oh wow!
Which is a 6-meter aerial rig for I built for two of my daughters who do lots of circus skills things, so they go up there and play.
Wow. What sort of thing do they
with
do?
a very large mat underneath.
Yes, I should hope so, yeah.
Serious athletes, they are.
Blimey.
Very impressive. Are they former gymnasts or athletes, or how do you get into that?
They've been doing circus skills since they were about 9.
Yeah.
And one's doing a degree in London now.
Which I think you're going to visit this weekend?
No, I'm actually going to visit a different daughter this weekend.
Oh, okay.
I've got 4, and one of them's going on holiday, so I'm going to go and meet up with her.
That's very nice. Good, and yeah, good to get these visits in before Christmas. I think obviously, sort of, the fascinating bit for us, sort of having you two guys on here, is your history in the AT industry. And forgive me, Dave, but I knew of Paul before I knew of you.
Okay.
Going back again many years ago at the start of my sort of life in AT, and I was on a visit to the Royal National College for the Blind back in Hereford, and Karen Ball, who was the centre manager at the time, later got married and became Karen Hall, mentioned Paul Blenkhorn to me, and she said, "You must know Paul," and I said, No, I don't think I've, this is like 22, 23 years ago. So yeah, she sort of, she was the first person to ever mention your name to me. And I think that was at the time in connection with Dolphin. Was that where you
I actually left Dolphin probably 35 years ago.
You left 35 years ago? Wow.
Yes, we started it about 40 years ago, roughly.
So how did Dolphin come about then?
Well, I was a academic at the Research Centre for the Education of the Visually Handicapped at Birmingham University.
Right. Okay.
Made lots of software. Wanted to do something on a esoteric laptop. Met a guy who was working at NEC, and we started making some stuff and founded Dolphin. I think probably about 1986, 7, something. Don't remember. Long time ago. So I was there for about 5 years and then did other bits and pieces over the years.
I'd say you've done several, but the thing that springs to my mind immediately is, we are all so used to working within either Mac OS or Windows these days, But I presume your early work must have predated those operating systems.
Yeah, our first work was on BBC Micro, uh, rotor screen reader, an assembler, and a magnifier, and then on a little NEC microcomputer, and then DOS, and then Windows, and then Mac,
Yeah,
iOS, and so on.
yeah. Okay. So you've just enjoyed embracing all of these technologies as they come along.
Well, I think it's
Paul,
more what the technologies, when they're appropriate for people with disabilities to use, it just becomes an appropriate device to develop on.
Yeah.
So this week I'm back working on iPhones because I thought there's some cool things we could do.
Paul, did you do the Windows work for Microsoft when you were at Dolphin, or was that after that? I can't remember the timescale.
No, I think I left Dolphin about 91 and I made a narrator for Microsoft 98 to 2000 because it was released in Windows 2000. So I was an academic at that time at the university.
And so I've got to ask, lecturing in what at that time?
I was in a computing department
Yeah.
at UMIST and University of Manchester.
Okay.
So I used to like teaching programming,
Yeah.
speech technology, graphics, lots of student projects,
Yeah.
and all
So
that stuff.
so how did you guys get to meet then? I think because obviously I know sort of, from David when Clara sort of first came in to visit me when I was at Wyvern many years ago. That was my first sort of meeting with Dave. But so when did you guys meet and come up with the ideas around that?
Well, prior to Clara, so prior to Clara, I used to work for the company that owned Dragon. So for quite a long time, I was involved in the licensing and the selling of the very early Dragon speech recognition. So version 4, just going on to version 5, which was a beautiful build of software, Dragon version 5, preferred edition. And I was also involved. That company also involved text-to-speech software development, so early days of software, and I was very interested in that. I'm an engineer by background, and I kind of got involved in the company because of my background and sort of commercialization of this technology. And it was mostly telecoms companies that were using, kind of to speak bits out of their system, and I used to go around with visits, and this guy in Manchester called Professor Paul put an inquiry in to buy some synthesizers, some software synthesizers. And so I went up and had a chat and thought, oh, he's doing some cool stuff. That's quite interesting, a bit different. That's quite helpful, that. I've not seen that sort of stuff before. And anyway, I sold him some synthesizers at a really high price because he seemed to have loads of grant money available. And about a year or two, we just kept meeting. What happened then, Paul? I don't know. We just sort of had the occasional coffee, didn't we? And you wrote software, and we talked about.
Well, you were looking to move out of Scansoft.
I left the company, didn't I? Yeah.
And at that point, we sort of thought we'd write some software for dyslexic people.
That was it, yeah. And at about the time, the very first human voice started to arrive. I'd sort of say that. As opposed to a robot style form type synthesizer. So it was starting to sound human. And so after about a year or so, there was something called Clara Read, wasn't there, in 2004? And then we started to show it. I went to Wyvern and I had to go everywhere and show it to people and said, look, it talks Microsoft Word documents and things like that. And
I think there was Word Read first, actually.
It was Word Read afterwards first, yeah. And then Clara Read kind of had a few more functions, didn't it, like prediction, scanning, and things like that.
Yes.
So that's we just kind of teamed up and on a 50-50 basis and carried on, and we sort of tapered away from that business in around 2020. That's a story for a different webinar, perhaps, or a meeting or discussion. But and we then did quite a lot of app work, didn't we? The Sensory App House app work, of which is about 83 apps that we created. We went a bit crazy during lockdown doing that sort of stuff as well. We had our own kind of publishing system created. And then I don't know, we started to go back into, we got some queries, didn't we, Paul, from some people we knew in the sector of student support and school support around the need for a few new tools and trying to improve some of the Microsoft, not improve Microsoft, that sounds wrong.
Leverage.
To build on what was already really good inside of Microsoft to
Yep.
enhance it a bit. And a year or maybe 6 months later, Paul wrote Sensory Readable, which is sort of kept us very busy since, really, as we put that into the DSA and access to work and trying to create a simple, easy to use, but nice sounding sort of assistive technology. And we've got an announcement for today that's nothing to do with Sensory Readable, but all to do with assistive technology. So we'll leave that till the end.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a tease.
Keep
Right.
everybody in suspense till the end of that one, I think.
I think so.
Okay. So, in terms of, I mean, I'm trying to think of the right way to describe Paul's product output, because every time I see Paul, he said, "Oh, I've got another idea. Oh, I've been thinking about something else." And I remember I really didn't know you at all at this time, Paul, but it was a good few years ago, and I saw you at ATIA, and you were working on at the time some augmented reality glasses. And I think you'd literally sort of just gone and picked up a pair of glasses and picked up something else and was like combining these two bits together. And it was stuff that sort of now I'm starting to see come through in other applications. And I'm thinking, Paul was doing this years ago. Um, wh- I'm always gobsmacked by the fact that you can just sort of have an idea and then start the coding and the sort of the delivery behind that. It just feels like a natural thing to you.
There you
Oh,
go.
there you go.
Dave is currently sporting said glasses.
Nice.
Current generation.
Oh, here he goes.
AR real glasses. They're
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Well, I think the way I like to start is I like to start with a problem that people have. So, for example, Dave met someone at a show. Well, actually, before that, I was talking to a partially deaf person who wanted subtitles, captions, and to record meetings.
Yeah.
And I thought Dave was about to do the glasses. So I was talking into this, Dave. Put your glasses on, man.
All right.
So Dave met someone who said, "Oh, it'd be really good for one of my deaf colleagues if he could see subtitles while he's talking to people." So this is one we made earlier.
So we didn't make the
And
glasses.
we
of course,
can't
but
actually
these
show
are
properly what's going on, but I think what you'll find is that Dave will be able to see the screen, and at the bottom of the screen, will be the words that I'm saying, and at the side of the screen, up is scrolling up the history of what I've said.
Yeah.
And that's superimposed on the screen that we're
you
all
might not
looking
be able
at.
to pick it up, Dave, with the background on.
Yeah, if you hold it in
I was
front
just
of
going
you.
to say I'm holding my iPhone actually, and so I can see you, Anthony, but I'm also looking at the same time as my iPhone because I've got like £200 X1 AR glasses plugged into my phone. You see, Paul created then an offline captioning app. So we've got a free app called Sensory Captions, which is on the iOS App Store, so that you can see the subtitle or you can see what somebody's saying whilst looking at them during the meeting or during the conversation, and it logs the history of the transcription. So that we just put that out a few weeks ago onto the iOS App Store. So it came from a request, really, and the person who had been looking from Birmingham, who'd been looking for a solution, was couldn't use the cloud-based transcription apps because of data protection, because it was going to be used in the work situation, and he wasn't allowed to have something that was online. So that linked in with the other work Paul had done for captioning, and yeah, that's
So it starts with a problem and then see if there's some cool technology that can solve it
So 2 points.
or
One is
help.
just a quick question in the chats, which Gizzy has just mentioned. Yeah, she would definitely want that as a deaf person. And she's asked a question, which is how or can a user scroll back to a time point if they need to? Do you have that functionality in there at the moment?
If they go to this part of
Yeah,
their iPhone,
yeah.
they can scroll up and down
Mm,
and go through the history.
nice. Excellent. What that leads me into is one of the things that I know we've talked about on a number of occasions. It actually came up as part of a conversation yesterday and segued beautifully into our conversation today. Couldn't have asked for it. Is that I know you, Paul, have done a lot of lecturing. I know Japan. I think was one of our recent conversations on AI, and particularly I know you've done a lot of work of the sort of onboard AI versus cloud-based AI. Um, what's the motivation for that?
Well, that was possibly, I can't remember, that was a year ago. Can you remember why we were doing that, Dave?
Yeah, well, there were two threads, weren't there? There was the query from one of our good technical friends around the fact that on Windows, there was a really good captioning engine on Microsoft Windows 11, but it couldn't be captured. You couldn't have a log of the capturing.
Okay.
Whereas on Teams, it was obviously you do get that, and it's great, and everyone was using it. But for real life, there wasn't a kind of real life alternative for that. So using the techniques that you developed for Sensory Readable, you realized you could capture that, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah. And he wanted to record a meeting, have the
Mm,
text of the meeting, and they thought it would be nice if we could have a summary of that meeting.
And the audio.
However, again, he's working with lots of companies, and the companies didn't want data going offline. So
yep.
Mm.
we
And
built
then
an
yeah, and you
offline
recorded
engine.
and you recorded the audio, didn't we? You synced up the audio. That's what became Sensory Scribe, which really was around offline transcription. It's
Yep.
sort of like Teams, but for real life meetings. So that was that. And the other offline work was around something we ended up calling writable. So we knew that. I mean, we've all been tinkering, haven't we, with the AI possibilities for probably a year or two now, ChatGPT, and we all knew. I mean, certainly people who are involved in writing and composition, that there was some tremendous power here for making slightly maybe below par writing, correcting, adjusting, rephrasing quickly and automatically, right? So, and everybody's doing that. That's pretty good assistive technology tool, you would say, compared to perhaps right-clicking on a word list and working through every spelling error and then going through a grammar check phase. So there was a lot of productivity here. But the reality is that we also knew that these cloud AI subscriptions are expensive. The data's going somewhere. It's going into the language models, and so Paul then embarked upon. Well, Paul, you could probably take over, because we found that you could actually have large language models AI on the device.
Yes.
We didn't really
Oh,
realize
it was also
that.
inspired by one of my other daughters as well, who had some DSA equipment,
Yeah.
and basically all the software I'd written and other people had written wasn't really helping her that much, or she couldn't be bothered using it. But the one thing that really helped her was her weekly chat with a mentor. And so I thought, oh, we could use this offline AI, not to write her essay for her, but to give a commentary on how it might be improved in
Yep.
terms of style, structure, flow.
Mm,
Yeah, so Writable became this tool that will, between your meetings with your real life mentor, make some suggestions on how to improve your documents, but not rewrite them for you or write them from scratch. So it's not generative AI,
yep.
it's suggestive
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah. And I think there's so many questions constantly around sort of AI and the use of the data that's sort of being uploaded, and who the IP belongs to, and whether it's your work or the AI's work, or so many different bits. Oh, Dave's popping some links in. Fab, thank you.
Yeah, I thought that was
So yeah, I think that's using the onboard AI just answers so many questions, whilst obviously making solutions of a type that have been around for a long time much smarter and much more valuable. So
Yeah.
no, I think it's
Excuse me,
yeah.
just got to let the dog in.
Oh, which one is it?
Yeah,
The
sorry.
bigger.
Adding to that, actually, Anthony, was what we didn't realize, or what we hadn't realized, was that as the devices, the PCs were getting powerful and the Macs are super powerful, they were getting powerful in the same way that the servers were for AI. So there was this possibility, and it looks like it's happening, where the AI would be sitting on the device itself. So you do have the data security, kind of data protection issues under more control. And so once we realized that that actually was going, Moore's law and everything, the chips were appearing on all these devices, presumably driven by gaming and other productivity activities. So we thought, well, actually, assistive technology we can build assistive technology with local AI and control the prompts and control what's allowed within the rule set of either a university or the schools or the education system. Okay, we can't just flick things on and off. It's an evolutionary thing. So we built Writable. It's there. It's downloadable. It's not a chargeable item at the moment, and it's just a first step in evolution. And this digital mentoring possibility and the ability to get feedback on your work without rewriting it for you seems to be sensible. So we're just seeing where that goes, and the machines are allowing that to happen. I would say I can run it, and I've got a gaming machine that was about 600 quid. It's not so bad, but it's not going to run on a 3-year-old laptop.
Just for anybody who hasn't been watching the chat, Dave's just posted some links in there. One of them to Sensory Writable, which we've just been discussing there. Have a play. It's super impressive, I have to say. It's and the way that it assists rather than does it for you. So I think well worth a quick look. I'm conscious I could speak to you guys all day long again. But just before we sort of get too far away, Dave, do you want to give us a quick look at Sensory Readable? Because I know sort of one of the things you guys are very keen on is keeping the clean and intuitive sort of interfaces. So yeah, give us a look.
Yeah, okay, that's we can do something on that. Let me just share now. So picking up on there. There we go. So actually, at the top of my toolbar here, this is Sensory Readable. So obviously, people who are familiar with Clararead might sort of see that some structural similarities with a sort of.
We're not seeing. Sorry, Dave. We're not seeing the toolbar.
All right, I'm just.
No, we're just seeing the Word document.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah. Okay. I know what that is. So you probably see it now. You see the toolbar there now, yeah?
Nope.
No, nothing there.
Okay.
Is it potentially because you're sharing the program, not the screen?
Yeah, I need to share everything.
Yeah.
I'll just share the window. So you might see a toolbar then.
Yeah.
Yes, we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All good.
And so making something look simple and straightforward and be clear in terms of its voice quality and its assistive quality. This is one of the targets of Readable, and try to do things a little bit differently. So with this, I can obviously click.
On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
So we're doing an underline highlighting, which was a new creation that was worked on, where you can change the different colors of the underline highlighting rather than blocking the whole word. So we thought that was quite smooth. That tends to work in lots of different applications. We've got the voice there, which is a local installed voice, nice and smooth. I love doing the demonstration of sort of exclamation marks and different sort of punctuation, really. So I can start reading as well with a new method that Paul created, whereby you just go to somewhere on the screen. I'm going to press down my control button, my control key.
On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me.
And so it just starts speaking until I press the control button again. But if I put in, I'll just read this.
A partridge in a pear tree.
Partridge
On
in
the
a pear tree.
Partridge in a pear tree. On the A partridge in a pear tree. On the 2nd day of Christmas.
So yeah, we've got a play button. You can change how the hover speaking works. You could just speak single words. It's got a text extractor for grabbing out inaccessible text. We've got a link to the voice access, the Microsoft Voice Access offline dictation tool, so we can proofread that. We've got some links with Microsoft Word for thesaurus and checking. We've got a prediction link, and we've also included some things like a reading ruler and a tinting tool and save to audio. So it's got a useful collection of tools for reading and writing support, I would say. Interestingly, I've got the international version, what we call the international version of Readable, loaded here. So if I do go to my voices, the ones we ship in the to corporates don't have the cloud connection, but we can connect to cloud voices as well. So if I look at my online voices, I can choose Welsh. I can choose, let's go with Aled.
Microsoft Aled Online.
And somewhere I might have some Welsh text.
Baban Duw gyda'r llygaid bach cau. Iesu tywysog ein hedd. Sanctaidd nos gyda'i ser.
So I don't know if that's correct, but there might be some Welsh speakers who can.
I was just looking to our attendees list just to see if I could spot Dylan Griffiths or anybody else who might be. Rebecca Jones tells me that sounds good. Thank you, Becky.
All right, thank you, Becky.
I think Aled sounds North Walian Welsh as well, but I'll be intrigued to get some feedback on that.
So there's about we're linking up with the Microsoft Azure Cloud Voices there. So there's a range of about 300 voices, some incredible dialects. But they've also created these multilingual voices, and I'm going to do, I think Florian. No, do Vivian.
Microsoft Vivian Multilingual Online.
Because what Vivian can do is that she can probably now read German.
Stille Nacht. Heilige Nacht. Alles schläft. Einsam wacht.
And now if I just switch to an English voice, an English text, I mean, sorry.
Silent night. Holy
It's
night.
the same voice.
All is calm. All is bright.
Microsoft, incredible.
Round yon Virgin Mother.
It's just automatically recognizing the language and.
Somehow, yeah, it's
Yes.
just, and they've built these about 23 multilingual voices, but we have to access the cloud for that. So there's the trade-off there. The performance is still quite quick, and we've integrated into Readable, so you can get the highlighting and the blind highlighting. But it's a balance between those offline voices. But so voice quality, ability to work across all the applications, and that's sensory readable, really. It's going well, isn't it, Paul? We're up to version 2.5 now, plus planning version 3. So it's always work to do, always work to make it simpler, right? Simpler, but better.
I think that's you touch upon a really interesting point, because there's so much research done on the sort of the rates of adoption for assistive technology and what does or doesn't enable people to engage quickly and use it without going through a huge sort of set of training or working through all the options or doing everything else. I think the danger is believing that something that looks simple is simple, because I know that is a very, very intelligent and clever piece of software, but your interface enables people to engage with it in a very intuitive fashion, which I think is crucial.
I always
Uh,
like the quote from Mark Twain,
Go
who said to someone, "I'm sorry I've got to write you such a long letter, but I didn't have time to write a short one.
on.
It's harder to make things simple."
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely true. No, very, very fair. Oh, in fact, yes, Darius, I think, gave us a similar quote yesterday. And also, just to mention as well, just all credit to you guys that, as well as Rebecca saying that the Welsh was sounding good, that Dawn and Sian are saying exactly the same thing. Or at least I'm assuming that's what Sian's saying because she wrote it in Welsh. And
Yeah,
Matt,
Diane, otherwise known as very good.
oh, well done, well done. Of course,
These are my years of having to learn Welsh till I was 15. It's all coming back now.
So just to leave you with something that's new, and it's
yes, no,
new
please,
for
please.
this webinar, is that I believe that Paul, well, a couple of years ago, Paul built what I believe is his 10th magnifier. So we didn't release it when it was created when it was completed a year ago, because there was a couple of issues that couldn't quite be resolved. But then anyway, Paul fixed them a couple of months ago with the help of Microsoft. And so now we've got, I'm just going to share my screen if I may, again. So now we've got a new magnifier released called Sensory Magnus. This is Sensory Magnus here. I'm just going to move it around a bit. That's the UI. There we go. Fighting with, I'm going to increase the magnification. And it is quite powerful compared to the built-in magnifiers, because what we're doing is we've got a range of tinting tools. So all of the tinting techniques that we've used in the sensory ruler and the sensory tint, we've added into the magnifier. And also we've got the reading ruler functions. We've got 32 steps of magnifier smoothing built in, and the Sensory Magnus is now free as of yesterday, I think, on the Microsoft Windows App Store. So this is a free download. We're doing some work on important work on integrating the text-to-speech with this magnifier, but that will take a while to finalize that work. But Sensory Magnus is for free. And it's built on top of the Windows Magnifier API. I think that's fair to say, isn't it, Paul?
Mhm.
But it's extended it by adding a lot of the color settings and in the 6 different modes of magnification. So that's today's news for the second day of Christmas. Free magnifier hits the world. There we go.
And I think
Very,
you
very
gave
pleasing.
us. Sorry, no,
Sorry, Matt.
I'm saying that Dave gave us a figure as well before the as
Oh,
we were
yes.
offline beforehand and stuff with to in terms of well, actually no, Paul did. I do apologise for the number of actual app downloads across the Sensory App House apps so far, which I think I think we can all agree is a fairly impressive figure to say the least.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah, so I think we've got about 80 apps, and they're all free. They don't have any adverts, and they don't have any sign-ons. You don't have to we're not grabbing any data. But the first one was probably in 2016, was it, Paul? Something like that.
I lose track.
And I believe we're over 8 million downloads now on iOS, and well, that's on iOS, I think, isn't it? There's 8 million downloads ago on a lot of iPads, and it's just incredible the support and download range that we've got for those tools. And they're either in speech therapy or sensory sort of switch accessibility, those zones. And so Sensory Magnus joins that range of free downloads. And then people then ask us, well, how do you support it? And why is it free? And we go, we still don't know why the answer is. What's the answer, Paul? What's the answer?
Because I want them to be.
And I've got to say that's genuinely one of the things that I am always slightly in awe of with you guys is a lot of people, and it's the beauty of a small company as well. And when you're the owners and developers, is you're not. Yes, you have to make a living, but it's not just always about the return on sort of creating a solution. It's you see a need, you can solve the need, and you put it out there. And I think that is, really, really commendable. And I think, giving these things out to the wider public to benefit from is just fantastic. And I think
Dave, Mary's asking if we can put the link to the magnifier in the chat. She can't find
Yes.
it on our website.
Hannah will be, it's not on the website, so Hannah will be sending that around. I think it's
Oh,
that. Yeah.
Someone's got it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gizzy's found it. I
Good.
hope I can get that pronunciation right. Awesome. Good. Right, it's 12:40, guys. Thank you, Dave, for that. Well, sharing sort of readable and also the news with regard to the magnifier. I think yeah, Magnus, great name. So look forward to seeing the download figures on that shoot up before we catch up next. What a genuinely great Christmas present for everybody. So a couple of last things from me. Is firstly, I'm just about to hit go on today's poll, which is all about Christmas music, which is again segues back into the trombone news at the start of this. So week 1, day 2, I'm just going to launch this. I'm afraid Dave and Paul, you can't join in on this one because you are down as delegates, but sorry, down as panelists. So it's a all season long or bar humbug. Matt, which are you?
Bar humbug. I think it's sometimes just hear it too, and it's always the classics, isn't it? I'm sure Chris Rea must have got home for Christmas by now. That's all I can say because every year he's still driving. And then I suppose we're into all the other ones, but
Paul, do you get into the Christmas music? No. Have you got a tree up?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, that's not a no. I mean, that's that's fair.
Well, the kids will make us put a tree up, but hopefully I'll be away, as it'll be done after Friday. So I think my answer was probably number 3, if I were allowed to have one.
Well, there we go. I'm going to publish if I end the poll and I share the results. So there you go. Yeah, we can go all season long. Just about sort of took it on 60%, but it's a fair bit of bar humbug in there with 30. So yeah, not surprised. Quick question to you guys. Jerry Anderson has just asked, magnifier available in the States?
Should be, yeah.
It's in the Windows store.
Yep. So, yep, Jerry, carry on.
Should be, and if it isn't, it should be. So
Tell us if it isn't.
please tell us if it's not there.
Awesome. Good. Second bit for me is just a reminder that tomorrow we will be doing a first ever for me, which is a pre-record of our interview with Neuraline. But I will be ably co-hosted by my youngest son Oscar because he's on a go to work with your dad day. So it'd be interesting to see what he can bring to the party. But as Matt will be on a plane somewhere over France by about that point, I think. So yeah, look forward to that. And then last of all is our early Christmas present prize draw, which can somebody remind me what today's prize is?
So today's prize is, if I remember this correctly, is some Beats.
Magnifier.
Exactly. Free from the App Store for everybody. Some little mini Beats Buds headphone thingies.
Beats
That's
headphones.
probably a more technical thing than thingies, but that's the one that I'm going for.
Nope, we'll take that. Right, it's cool. As always, you've got to be here to win it. So thank you for everybody for sticking with us. Just before we go, because everyone legs it as soon as we do the prize draw, just want to say, Dave, Paul, thank you so much for joining us today. Always an absolute pleasure. And
Inviting us.
you guys have a fantastic Christmas, and your families all make it wherever they're going safe and sound. So appreciate that. Right. In which case, I will go to Paul for today's random number. Between 1 and 87, please.
64.
64. Interesting. Matt, who's on at 64?
64 is Hannah Gibson.
Hannah Gibson. Hannah, are you still with us? Well, she just said thanks. I hope she hasn't left. No,
Well, I
she's
was
still
going to say,
there.
was that
That was close. I thought we'd just lost her. Thank you, Hannah. Right, in which case, our Hannah will be in touch with you, Hannah, to get your address, and thank you for joining us. Thanks again to all of our delegates for joining us today, and thanks to Dave and Paul for sharing all the developments. A lot of love in the chat for you guys, and deservedly so. So no, that's been really interesting. Thanks for sharing Magnus with the world as well.
best do a webinar on that separately sometime in the
Definitely.
weeks ahead. All right.
We look forward to that. Thank you all very much. Right, in which case, Dave, Paul, you're very welcome to run away at this point and go and have your lunch.
Cheers.
Hopefully, we'll catch up very soon. You take care, guys.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers, guys. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye. So I think everybody is disappearing quickly from the charts. Bye bye, Kirsten. Goodbye, Emmanuel.
Sarah from the USA as well. We're getting a lot of people.
Sarah. Oh, Sarah, you'll have to let us know where you are. Jerry's just heading out the door.
Now.
Yeah, they're going and gone. So yeah, awesome. Thank you very, very much, everybody. I think at that point, we will close today and look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Thank you very much. Take care now, everybody. Bye bye.
Thanks.